Right now, as you watch this, you're inside a prison so sophisticated that most people die without realizing they were inmates. This prison has no walls, no bars, no guards you can see, but it controls when you wake, when you eat, when you work, when you rest, and when you die. It creates anxiety about your future and regret about your past. It makes you feel like you're constantly running out of something you can never get back. This prison is called Time, and it's operated by an ancient force every civilization recognized but forgot how to name. The Greeks called him Kronos, the devourer of his children. The Romans knew him as Saturn, the god who ate his offspring to prevent his overthrow. Today, his symbol sits atop corporate towers, government buildings, and institutions worldwide. His day of worship is Saturday, literally Saturn's day. His geometric signature appears in logos from finance to technology to entertainment. You can see Saturn right now. Go outside at night and look up. That pale yellow planet with rings. Those rings aren't random astronomical features. Ancient mystics understood them as the cosmic symbol of bondage, chains around consciousness itself. And those chains aren't holding Saturn. They're holding you. What I'm about to show you has been hidden in plain sight for thousands of years. Once you see it, you can never unsee it. Your entire perception of reality will fundamentally change. Stop and feel into this moment right now. What's creating anxiety in your body? Really check. Is it not enough time to finish something? Running late for something? Should have done something earlier? Running out of time to accomplish something? Nearly all human anxiety is time anxiety. Take away the past to regret and the future to fear, and what's left to worry about? This moment, right here, right now. Is there actually anything wrong in this exact moment? No dangerous animal is attacking you. No physical threat is present. In this moment, you're safe. But your mind doesn't live in this moment. It lives in time, and time is suffering. You weren't born with time anxiety. Watch a baby. Watch a toddler. They exist in pure present moment flow until we teach them about time. Hurry up. We're late. That was yesterday. Tomorrow we'll do this. Sentence by sentence, we install the time prison into innocent consciousness. Your body doesn't run on clock time. It runs on circadian rhythms, natural cycles synced to sun and moon, not minutes and hours. Your cells regenerate on their own schedule. Your heart beats to its own rhythm. Your breath flows in its own timing. Everything alive operates on natural cycles. Only machines run on clock time. So why do we force biological organisms to live like machines? Because machine time is controllable. Natural time is not. Here's your first revelation about Saturday. Saturn's Day. One day each week is named after the planet of limitation, restriction, time, and death. The day when you supposedly rest from the other 6 days of servitude to the time construct. But it's not really rest. It's the brief prison yard exercise period before you go back to your cell on Monday. Now start looking at corporate logos. Major institutions, financial systems, technology companies. How many use cubes? How many use hexagons, the two-dimensional representation of a cube? How many use six-sided or six-pointed shapes? The cube is Saturn's primary symbol, 6 sides, 6 points when viewed as a two-dimensional star. The number 6 is repeated. Saturn's number in ancient numerology. 6, the number associated with material reality, limitation, and control. Coincidence? Or are these institutions openly displaying their allegiance to the archetype of control and limitation? Every aspect of modern civilization is designed to keep you time-conscious. Clocks on every wall, every device. Deadlines for everything. Scheduled everything from birth to death. Time is money is programmed into your language. Age defines your worth and opportunities. Retirement is the carrot at the end of servitude. This isn't civilization. This is a control grid operating through the mechanism of time. And here's the really insidious part. Time creates the perfect existential crisis. You believe you have limited time, limited chances, limited opportunities, one life with a clock running down. This scarcity creates desperation. Desperation makes you controllable. Controllable people are profitable people. The time prison isn't just philosophical. It's economic, political, social. It's the foundation of every control system in existence. But something's happening that the architects of this system didn't expect. People are waking up. More people than ever are realizing that time as we experience it isn't natural. It's imposed. It's a cage. And once you see the cage, you can't unsee it. Once you recognize Saturn's influence, you can't stop seeing his symbols everywhere. Once you understand how time creates suffering, you can't go back to unconscious participation in the time prison. You're at a choice point right now. You can close this video, forget what you're hearing, and go back to sleep in the comfortable prison. Or you can keep going and discover how deep this really goes. There's no going back after this. Let me tell you a story that every ancient civilization told in different ways, because they all recognized the same cosmic force. In Greek mythology, Kronos was warned that one of his children would overthrow him. So what did he do? He devoured each child as soon as they were born. Read that again. The god of time devours his own children to prevent the future from overthrowing the present. This isn't just a weird ancient myth. This is a cosmic truth encoded in story form. Time devours everything it creates. Every moment that's born is immediately consumed by the next moment. The present devours the past. The future devours the present. On and on, endless consumption. You are Kronos' child, and he is eating you alive second by second, year by year. The Romans merged Kronos with Saturn, their god of agriculture, time, and dissolution. Saturn ruled during the mythical Golden Age, a time of abundance before time was strictly measured. Then Saturn was dethroned by Jupiter, and strict time was imposed on humanity. The Golden Age ended. The age of limitation, scarcity, and time pressure began. This myth describes the transition from natural, cyclical time to artificial, linear time, from living in harmony with nature to living in servitude to the clock. In astrology, Saturn represents limitation, boundaries that restrict, discipline, force structure and control, time, especially aging and mortality, karma, debts that must be paid, authority, external power over you, responsibility, burdens you must carry. Saturn is the cosmic teacher who teaches through restriction, through making you wait, through showing you limits, through aging your body. Every challenging aspect of physical reality falls under Saturn's domain. Medieval alchemists associated Saturn with lead, the heaviest, densest, most toxic metal. Lead poisoning causes cognitive decline, memory problems, difficulty concentrating, depression and anxiety, and physical weakness. Sound familiar? These are the exact symptoms of being trapped in the time construct. Mental fog, forgetting your true nature, inability to be present, existential dread, and physical deterioration from stress. The alchemist knew that Saturn consciousness is toxic consciousness. Lead, representing Saturn, must be transformed into gold, representing solar consciousness and timeless presence, through the alchemical process. They weren't talking about literal metal transmutation. They were describing consciousness liberation from time. Saturn's geometric form is the cube, a three-dimensional limitation. A cube has 6 faces representing material limitation, 12 edges representing the 12 months and zodiac divisions, the time cycles, 8 vertices representing the octave, musical and temporal repetition. The cube is the perfect geometric representation of three-dimensional, time-bound, materially limited reality. Notice what shape Muslim pilgrims circle in Mecca: a cube. The Kaaba. Notice the shape at the center of the United Nations meditation room. A cube of iron. Notice the shape in Freemasonic symbolism. Cubes everywhere. The cube represents physical, time-bound reality, the prison of matter. Saturn's rings are unique in our solar system, clearly visible even with primitive telescopes, and known to the ancients. In esoteric tradition, these rings represent the rings of karma binding souls to reincarnation, the loops of time that cycle endlessly, the chains that restrain consciousness, the orbit of limitation that contains and restricts. You are inside Saturn's rings right now, not physically, but consciousness-wise. Your awareness is orbiting the planet of limitation, trapped in its gravitational field, unable to escape its influence. Modern occult researchers have documented the Black Cube phenomenon. Saturn is associated with the color black, representing darkness, limitation, and the void. The cube is Saturn's geometric form. Black cubes appear in corporate logos, religious sites, and institutional imagery worldwide. Black cube sculptures exist in major cities across the globe. There's a giant black cube sculpture in Manhattan, black cube art installations worldwide. The phylactery in Jewish tradition consists of black cubes worn during prayer. This isn't a conspiracy. This is symbol literacy. These symbols are in plain sight because most people can't read them. In ancient numerology, each planet has a magic square, a grid of numbers with mystical properties. Saturn's magic square is 3 by 3, containing the numbers 1 through 9. When you add each row, column, and diagonal, they all equal 15. When you add all the numbers in the square, you get 45. When you add the numbers 1 through 36 in a 6 by 6 square, another Saturn calculation, you get 666. The number of the beast isn't about a literal devil. It's the number of material limitations, of being trapped in the six-sided cube of physical reality, of consciousness imprisoned in time-bound, matter-bound existence. 666 is the number of Saturn consciousness. Saturday, Saturn's day, is the Sabbath in Jewish and Christian tradition, the day of rest. But notice, you rest on Saturn's day because you worked the other 6 days. Saturn's day is the release valve that makes the other 6 days of servitude tolerable. 1 day of freedom makes 6 days of imprisonment bearable. Classic control technique. The figure of death, the skeleton with scythe and hourglass, is directly descended from Saturn and Kronos imagery. The scythe, Saturn's tool, used to harvest, which means kill, living things. The hourglass, time running out. The skeleton, the end result of time's devouring nature. Death wields time as a weapon, or more accurately, time is death wearing a disguise. Look at when important events are scheduled. Court systems operate Monday through Friday, avoiding Saturn's day because Saturn is the judge. Financial markets close on Saturday. Saturn rules material wealth. Religious services often occur on Saturday or Sunday, acknowledging Saturn's power. Look at who uses Saturn symbolism. Financial institutions, time equals money. Government agencies, authority and control. Tech companies, structural frameworks. Entertainment corporations, controlling what you watch when. They're not hiding it. They're displaying it openly because they know you can't read the symbols. But here's what most people miss. Saturn's rings aren't just around the planet. They're around you. The ring of your daily routine, the ring of your weekly schedule, the ring of your yearly calendar, the ring of your life stages, childhood, adolescence, adulthood, and old age, the ring of birth and death cycling. You're orbiting in rings around Saturn consciousness, trapped in cycles of repetition, unable to break free, until now. Now let's destroy everything you think you know about time using actual physics, neuroscience, and direct experience. Einstein didn't just discover relativity. He destroyed the foundation of time as you understand it. Time is not absolute. Time is not the same everywhere. Time is relative to your speed through space, the gravitational field you're in, and your frame of reference. This has been proven thousands of times. Atomic clocks on satellites run at different rates than clocks on Earth. Astronauts age more slowly than Earth dwellers. Time literally moves at different speeds in different places. If time were a fundamental feature of reality, this would be impossible. But if time is a product of consciousness interacting with space and matter, suddenly it all makes sense. Modern physics suggests we live in a block universe where past, present, and future all exist simultaneously. Time doesn't flow. Consciousness moves through static space-time. What you call now is just where your awareness is currently focused. The future already exists. You just haven't experienced it from your perspective yet. This means your grandmother, who died 20 years ago, still exists in the space-time coordinates where she lived. Death isn't an ending. It's consciousness moving beyond a specific space-time location. At the quantum level, the fundamental building blocks of reality, time gets even weirder. Particles exist in superposition, all possible states until observed. Before observation, they exist in all timelines simultaneously. Quantum entanglement shows particles affecting each other instantaneously across any distance. Not faster than light speed, instant. Outside of time completely. Experiments show particles can be affected by measurements that haven't been made yet. The future affects the past at the quantum level. Time, as a one-way street from past to future, doesn't exist at the fundamental level of reality. It's an emergent property of consciousness in physical form. Here's the nuclear bomb. Consciousness creates the experience of time by observing reality sequentially. Pure consciousness, your true nature, is timeless. It exists in the eternal now. When consciousness focuses into physical form and identifies with a body, it experiences reality sequentially, one moment after another, creating the illusion of time flowing. Time is what consciousness experiences when it forgets it's eternal and identifies with something temporary. Every night you prove time is consciousness generated. In dreams, years can pass in minutes of clock time. You can jump backward and forward. Past and future mix freely without logic. Time is completely fluid and subjective. You are creating the time experience. That dream time is no less real than waking time. It's more honest about what time actually is. A consciousness-generated experience with no objective reality. Research on dimethyltryptamine produced naturally in your pineal gland shows something staggering. In 15 minutes of clock time, people report experiencing what feels like years or decades. Some report living entire alternate lifetimes with complete detail, relationships, careers, children, and growing old. Then they came back, and only 15 minutes had passed. This proves absolutely that consciousness's experience of time duration has nothing to do with clock time. Vast subjective time can occur in tiny clock time. Your consciousness can experience 50 years in 15 minutes. Time is completely consciousness generated. Remember how summers felt endless as a child, how a year seemed like forever. This wasn't because you were young and time moved more slowly. Your brain was processing more novel experiences, creating more distinct memories, which made duration feel longer in retrospect. As adults fall into routines, fewer novel experiences equal fewer distinct memories, which equals time speeds up. The solution? Create more novel experiences. Break routine. Stay present. Time slows down naturally. Ever get so absorbed in something that hours pass like minutes? That's flow state, and it's the closest most people get to experiencing consciousness outside the time construct. In flow state, the past disappears. The future doesn't exist. Only now is real. Time perception completely changes. you often perform at your highest level. Why? Because you've temporarily stepped outside time consciousness. You're experiencing reality more directly, with less temporal filtering. Experienced meditators consistently report that in deep states, time seems to stop or disappear entirely. Hours can feel like minutes or vice versa. There's no sense of past or future. Pure present moment awareness expands infinitely. A quality of timelessness pervades everything. They're not imagining this. They're directly experiencing consciousness without the time filtering mechanism active. People who have near-death experiences consistently report their life flashing before their eyes, but not sequentially, experiencing past, present, and potential futures simultaneously. A sense of timelessness or eternal present. Understanding that time is an illusion of physical embodiment. At the threshold of death, when consciousness begins separating from physical form, the time construct dissolves. They're experiencing reality as consciousness actually perceives it, timelessly. Here's something fascinating. Your memories don't actually exist in the past. They exist right now, being reconstructed by your brain in the present moment. Neuroscience shows that every time you remember something, you're not accessing a stored file. You're recreating the memory in the present time, and every recreation slightly changes the memory. The past, as you experience it, is actually created in the present moment. It's not a fixed thing that happened back then. It's a present moment construction. And here's the kicker. Your experience of the future is also happening now. When you imagine tomorrow, anticipate next week, or plan next year, that's all happening in present moment consciousness. Past and future only exist as thoughts in the eternal now. The only time that ever actually exists is this moment. Always this moment. Only this moment. So here's what's actually happening. There is only now. Eternal, infinite, present moment consciousness. The mind creates an apparent past by storing and recreating memory patterns. The mind creates an apparent future by projecting patterns forward. Both are mental constructs existing in present awareness. Time is the story consciousness tells itself to make sense of sequence and change. But it's a story, not a fundamental reality. And Saturn is the archetypal force that convinced you the story is real, that convinced you you're trapped in time, that made you forget your timeless consciousness playing a temporary time-based game. Now let's look at how deep this goes, how the time construct has been encoded into your very biology, and how you're being aged, stressed, and killed by time belief. Medical science has proven something profound. Stress kills. Chronic stress is linked to every major disease and accelerated aging. But what creates stress? Almost universally, time pressure. Not enough time. Running out of time. Behind schedule. Should have done this earlier. Worried about the future. Regretful about the past. Remove time from the equation, and most stress disappears, because stress requires a past to regret and a future to fear. Your chromosomes have protective caps called telomeres. As they shorten, you age. When they get too short, you die. Research shows that chronic time pressure shortens telomeres faster than normal aging. Your belief in time scarcity is literally shortening your life at the cellular level. People who feel time abundant, like they have plenty of time, live measurably longer than people who feel time scarcity, like they're running out of time. Your relationship with time determines how fast you age and how soon you die. Your body wants to run on natural circadian rhythms, roughly 25 to 28-hour cycles synced to light and dark. Not exactly 24 hours. Studies of people isolated from time cues show they naturally drift toward 25-plus hour days. The 24-hour day is somewhat arbitrary. It's Earth's rotation speed, not necessarily optimal for human consciousness. But we force biological organisms to operate like clockwork machines. This creates biological stress that accumulates over decades. Around age 29 to 30, Saturn returns to the same astrological position it occupied at your birth. This is called your Saturn return. Psychiatrists and psychologists have documented that people around age 29 to 30 consistently experience major life restructuring, crisis about life direction, confrontation with limitations, relationships ending or transforming, career changes, and feeling the weight of mortality. This isn't astrology superstition. This is a documented psychological phenomenon where consciousness confronts the structures and limitations of its incarnation. You're hitting the wall of the time prison and either breaking through or resigning to imprisonment. Throughout history, observers have noticed human development occurs in roughly 7-year cycles. 0 to 7, physical development. 7 to 14, emotional development. 14 to 21, mental and social development. 21 to 28, establishing independence. 28 to 35, Saturn return crisis and reconstruction. 35 to 42, midlife evaluation. 42 to 49, wisdom integration. 49 to 56, mentorship emergence. 56 to 63, second Saturn return and legacy focus. These aren't random. Their consciousness is moving through time-based developmental structures, with Saturn representing limitation and maturation, marking major transition points. The midlife crisis around age 40 to 42 is really midlife Saturn opposition. Saturn is now opposite its birth position. At this point, the future seems shorter than the past. Mortality becomes viscerally real. Questions arise about life authenticity, urgency about time running out, desperate attempts to recapture youth. This is consciousness recognizing the temporary nature of physical incarnation and panicking about time running out. But time can't run out if it never existed in the first place. Women especially feel biological clock pressure between the ages of 28 and 35. This isn't just physical reality. It's the time construct using biology to create urgency, pressure, and anxiety. The message is that your time is running out to fulfill this biological role. Men face different time pressures. Establish a career by 30, make your mark by 40, achieve success before it's too late. All designed to keep you anxious, rushed, and controllable. Modern civilization invented retirement. Work for 40+ years, then stop to enjoy life. This is the time prison's ultimate scam, convincing you to postpone living until some future point when you've earned it. But consciousness doesn't work that way. Life isn't something to prepare for. It's something to be right now. Every moment you postpone authentic living, you're strengthening Saturn's chains. Time consciousness creates achievement addiction. Accomplish this before that age. Achieve this or you've failed. Make your mark before time runs out. This keeps you perpetually anxious, never satisfied, always racing against an imaginary clock toward arbitrary goals. Meanwhile, your life, the actual present moment experience of being alive, passes unnoticed. Society teaches age-based shame. Act your age. You're too old for that. Young people are more valuable. Aging is decline. This programming makes you fear time passing, hate getting older, and desperately try to reverse the physical effects of time. But what if you recognize yourself as timeless consciousness? Aging would just be the body changing, not you declining. Modern life creates artificial urgency about everything. Limited time offer. Act now. Deadline approaching. Your biological clock. Time's running out. This constant urgency keeps you in a fight or flight stress response, making reactive decisions instead of conscious choices. It prevents you from accessing the deep wisdom available in present moment awareness. Notice how much of life is spent waiting and how much suffering that creates. waiting in traffic, waiting in lines, waiting for results, waiting for Friday, waiting for vacation, waiting for retirement, waiting for someday. All this waiting is time consciousness, creating suffering where none exists in the present moment. The time prison's master stroke is convincing you that you never have enough time. Not enough time to do what matters. Not enough time with loved ones. Not enough time to achieve goals. Not enough time before death. This perceived scarcity creates desperation. Desperation makes you controllable. Controllable people are profitable people. The time prison isn't just philosophical. It's economic and political. It's the foundation of control. Enough diagnosis. Let's talk about the cure. How to actually free yourself from time prison. These aren't just concepts. These are practices used by mystics, shamans, and consciousness hackers throughout history to transcend temporal limitation. Most fundamental practice is radical presence. Right now, stop. Don't read ahead. Just stop. Feel your body breathing. Notice sounds around you. Feel the aliveness in your hands. Observe thoughts arising and passing. This is what you actually are. Aware presence experiencing this moment. Not the thoughts about the past or the future. Not the story of your life in time. Just this. Awareness. Here, now. Practice this 100 times a day. Every time you notice yourself mentally time traveling, come back to now. Daily practice is remembering you will die. Not morbidly, liberatingly. This body will end. This particular lifetime will be complete. Time will take this physical form. But consciousness doesn't die. Awareness continues. You are not the temporary form that dies. Holding both truths, temporary physical existence and eternal consciousness, frees you from time anxiety. Death is only terrifying when you believe consciousness is trapped in time and form. A practical step is removing as many visible clocks as possible from your environment. Take clocks off the walls. Cover the time on devices. Stop wearing a watch. Check the time only when absolutely necessary. You'll be shocked by how much unconscious time checking you do and how much mental energy it consumes. Deliberately break time-based routines regularly. Take different routes to familiar places. Eat when hungry, not at scheduled times. Sleep when tired. Wake naturally when possible. Work in irregular bursts rather than rigid hours. Take spontaneous days off. This loosens time's grip on your consciousness. New experiences create rich memories that make time feel expansive. Regularly do things you've never done before. Visit new places. Learn new skills. Meet new people. Try new activities. Novelty breaks routine and makes time feel more expansive. Find activities that create flow states where time disappears. Creative work, sports or movement, deep conversation, artistic expression, problem solving that absorbs you. Flow states are portals out of time consciousness. Regular extended time in nature without time tracking devices. No clock, no phone, no schedule. Let natural rhythms guide you. Observe how different a time feels. Sync with sun and moon cycles. Nature doesn't care about your schedule. Let it teach you timelessness. Modern technology intensifies time pressure. Constant notifications fragment attention. 24/7 connectivity eliminates natural rhythms. Social media creates fear of missing out. Digital overload accelerates time perception. Regular digital detoxes, full days or even weeks, dramatically slow your experience of time. Your breath is always in the present moment. You can't breathe in the past. You can't breathe in the future. You can only breathe now. Use breath as an anchor to present moment consciousness throughout the day. Perhaps the most powerful practice is recognizing sufficiency in this moment. Right now, You have enough time because it's always now. You have enough life because you're alive now. You are enough, complete in this moment. The scarcity mindset around time empowers the prison. Sufficiency recognition dissolves it. Change your language about time. Instead of, I don't have enough time, say I'm choosing to prioritize differently. Instead of time is running out, say this moment is complete. Instead of I'm running late, say I'm arriving at the perfect time. Instead of wasting time, say this moment has value. Language shapes perception. Change time language, change time experience. Develop a consistent meditation practice specifically focused on timelessness. Sit in awareness without counting minutes. Don't set a timer. Sit until you naturally complete. Notice thoughts about duration arise and pass. Rest in the timeless quality of pure awareness. The goal isn't meditating for a certain duration. The goal is experiencing consciousness outside of duration entirely. Instead of fighting Saturn and time, dance with it. Thank you, Kronos, for the gift of sequential experience. Thank you, Saturn, for lessons through boundaries. Thank you, time, for allowing me to savor moments separately. When you stop fighting and start dancing, everything changes. Let's explore what various wisdom traditions have taught about time and how to transcend it. Hinduism doesn't see time as linear, it's cyclical. Yugas, great ages, repeat in eternal cycles. Reincarnation moves souls through time. Brahman, ultimate reality, is timeless. Maya, illusion, includes temporal illusion. The goal of spiritual practice is liberation, moksha, from the cycle of time and rebirth. Buddhism teaches explicitly that the past and future are mental constructs. Only the present moment truly exists. Attachment to permanence causes suffering. Enlightenment is recognition of the timeless nature of awareness. The Buddha taught that understanding the illusory nature of time is essential to liberation. Taoism emphasizes Wu Wei, effortless action in harmony with natural timing. Following the Tao means moving with cyclical time, not against it. The eternal Tao exists outside of time. Trying to control time creates suffering. Taoists see time as a rhythm to dance with, not a linear constraint to battle. Hermetic philosophy states that all is mind, including temporal experience. Time is a mental construct created by consciousness. The initiate learns to operate outside time constraints. Mastery includes manipulating temporal perception. The Hermetic tradition treated time transcendence as an achievable state. Kabbalah describes multiple levels of time. Physical time, Asaya, is linear clock time. Emotional time, Yetzirah, is subjective feeling time. Mental time, Bria, is conceptual thought time. Spiritual timelessness, Atziluth, is the eternal now of pure being. Spiritual development means ascending through these levels toward timelessness. Sufi mystics teach that the Sufi is the son of the moment, fully present always. Past and future are veils obscuring reality. Union with the divine happens in the eternal now. Time is one of the barriers between humans and God. The poet Rumi wrote, "Past and future veil God from our sight. Burn up both of them with fire." Mystical Christianity understands eternal life not as infinite duration, but as existence outside of time. Jesus taught about entering the kingdom of heaven, a timeless state now, not after death. Mystics like Meister Eckhart describe the eternal now of divine presence. The resurrection represents consciousness transcending temporal constraints. True Christianity was about transcending time, not living forever in time. Ancient Egyptians understood that the soul, Ba, is eternal and timeless. Physical life is a temporary experience in time. Death is a transition, not an ending. The afterlife exists outside temporal constraints. Their elaborate death rituals were about helping consciousness navigate from time-bound to timeless existence. The Mayans didn't see time as a simple linear progression, multiple simultaneous cycles operating at different scales. Time as quality, not just quantity. Sacred calendar, Tzolk'in, tracking spiritual time. The long count calendar tracks vast cosmic cycles. They understood time as multidimensional and cyclical, far more sophisticated than modern linear clock time. Australian Aboriginal tradition describes dreamtime, a timeless realm where ancestral spirits exist. Past, present, and future are accessible simultaneously. Physical time is a temporary overlay on timeless reality. Ritual and ceremony create portals to dreamtime. Their entire cosmology centers on the coexistence of time and timelessness. Shamanic tradition's worldwide practice journey states where time behaves differently. Soul retrieval from past events, prophecy of future possibilities, all accessed from the present moment trance state. Shamans operate as if time is flexible and navigable, not fixed and linear. Ancient mystery schools, Egypt, Greece, and Persia, taught time transcendence as a key initiation, specific practices for entering timeless states, understanding of multiple levels of temporal experience, the eternal nature of consciousness beyond incarnation. This was considered advanced, secret teaching, not for the masses who needed to believe time was real to remain controllable. Let's talk about who benefits from you believing in time and how they use it to control you. The Industrial Revolution changed everything. Before factories, people worked with natural rhythms, sunrise to sunset, seasonal cycles. Then came clock time, factory whistles, punch cards, 8-hour days. The clock became the new slave master. Time is money became the mantra. Your life was converted into measurable, sellable units of time. You don't sell your labor anymore. You sell your time, your life, measured in hours, traded for currency. School trains you for the time in prison from age 5. Bells tell you when to move, sit, eat, learn, and rest. Semesters and grades divide your development into arbitrary time blocks. Tardiness is punished, teaching you that clock time is more important than your natural rhythms. Homework trains you to bring work home, blurring life and labor. By 18, you're fully conditioned to live by the clock, not by consciousness. Modern employment is time-based slavery with extra steps. You exchange hours of your life for money. You're monitored for time theft if you're not productive enough. Vacation time is granted, not inherent. Retirement age is decided for you. Your worth is measured in hourly wage or yearly salary. You're not free. You're leasing your life to employers, hour by hour. Mortgages, literally death pledge, student loans and credit cards are all time-based traps. 30-year mortgages chain you to 30 years of payments. Student loans ensure you work for decades to pay them off. Credit card interest accumulates with time. Debt binds you to time. You must work within the system for years to pay off debts, keeping you trapped in a time prison and unable to break free. The medical industry profits from extending time. Drugs that extend lifetime, but don't necessarily improve quality. Treatments that prolong dying rather than enhance living. Fear of death, time running out, drives massive spending. The anti-aging industry is worth hundreds of billions. They sell you more time because you believe time is all you have. Media and entertainment keep you unconscious in a time prison. Netflix, just one more episode, and hours disappear. Social media, infinite scroll, and time vanish. Video games, just 10 more minutes and hours are gone. Sports, watching others live while your time passes. All designed to keep you time unconscious while your life ticks away. The promise of retirement is the ultimate control mechanism. Work for 40+ years, save for the future. Defer living for when you retire. Then maybe, if you live long enough, you can finally enjoy life. By then, you're old, tired, and programmed. The best years were spent serving the system. Every advertisement uses time pressure, limited time only. The sale ends soon. Act now before it's too late, while supplies last. Creating artificial urgency bypasses rational thinking and triggers fear-based purchasing. The 24-hour news cycle creates perpetual time anxiety. Breaking news, something's always urgent. Countdown timers, developing story, time pressure. Market opens and closes, a time-sensitive financial fear. This keeps you in a constant state of time-based stress and urgency. Social media creates fear of missing out, pure time anxiety. Everyone else's highlight reel makes you feel behind, the best years of your life pressure. Biological clock ticking reminders, comparison to others' timelines, all designed to keep you anxious about time and your position in it. Now that you know Saturn symbols, start looking. Corporate logos with cubes, government buildings with Saturn or time symbolism, six-pointed stars, a cube viewed from an angle, in finance, entertainment, and institutions. Black cube sculptures in major cities worldwide. They're not hiding it. They're displaying it openly because they know most people can't read symbols. Saturday, Saturn's Day, became the main shopping day. Weekend shopping, Saturday sales. Malls are busiest on Saturday. Consumption as ritual on Saturn's Day. You work 6 days, then spend your money on Saturn's Day, completing the control cycle. Each generation has more time pressure than the last. Boomers worked 40-hour weeks. Gen X worked 50 to 60-hour work weeks. Millennials juggle multiple jobs and the gig economy always on. Gen Z faces hustle culture, side hustles, and no separation between life and work. The time in prison is tightening with each generation. While you're anxious about time, worried about deadlines, stressed about age, you're not questioning who benefits from the system, organizing resistance to control, discovering your true nature as timeless consciousness, or living authentically in the present moment. Time anxiety is the ultimate distraction from awakening. Now let's go deep into advanced practices that consciousness hackers, mystics, and awakened beings use to not just escape time, but master it. Quantum physics suggests multiple timelines exist simultaneously. Your choices determine which timeline you experience. Practice recognizing decision points as timeline branch points. Feel into the energetic signature of different choices. Notice which choice feels expansive versus contracting. Make choices consciously, knowing you're selecting timelines. You're not stuck on one track. You're constantly choosing your timeline through present moment decisions. Your past exists as present moment memory. Change the emotional charge of memories, and you change your relationship to past. Revisit difficult memories in meditation. Feel the emotions fully without story. Recognize younger self was doing their best. Send love and compassion to younger self. Notice the memory still exists, but emotional charge dissolves. You're not changing what happened. You're changing the present moment trauma pattern. The future exists as possibilities in the quantum field. Develop sensitivity to probability streams. Quiet the mind through meditation. Ask about potential future outcomes. Notice what arises as images, feelings, knowing. Distinguish intuition from fear or desire projections. Act on genuine intuitive hits. You're not predicting a fixed future. You're reading probability waves in present moment consciousness. You can subjectively slow time through consciousness techniques. In moments requiring it, take deep breath, widen peripheral vision, notice more details, expand awareness to include entire environment. Time subjectively slows. Athletes and martial artists use this naturally. You can develop it consciously. Your cells respond to consciousness. Studies show people who feel younger than their age live longer. Visualization of youth affects cellular markers. Stress ages you. Relaxation reverses aging markers. Your belief about your age affects biological age. Practice seeing yourself as timeless consciousness temporarily in aging body, not as aging person losing time. In altered states, deep meditation, breathwork, plant medicine. Some report accessing parallel lives, different versions of self in alternate timelines, past or future lives if time isn't linear, alternate choices and their outcomes. Whether literal or symbolic, these experiences expand your sense of identity beyond one timeline. Advanced practice is experiencing this moment as containing everything. Past exists as present moment memory. Future exists as present moment imagination. All experience happens now. This moment is infinite, eternal, complete. Sit in meditation and feel the spaciousness of now, not rushing toward future, not clinging to past, just infinite present. Instead of fighting Saturn or limitation, use it. Limitation creates focus. Boundaries enable creation. Discipline develops mastery. Time constraints force prioritization. Saturn or Kronos becomes ally when you understand his function. Tibetan Buddhism practices dying before you die. Regular visualization of death process. Consciousness separating from body. Recognizing eternal nature beyond form. Losing fear of death or time's ultimate limit. When death loses its power over you, time loses its power over you. Your consciousness doesn't exist in isolation. You affect and are affected by collective time consciousness. Large groups of people meditating affect time perception in the area. Mass events shift collective time experience. Your individual awakening ripples through the field. As more awaken to time's illusion, the collective prison weakens. You're not just liberating yourself, you're weakening the prison for everyone. Ultimate practice is living as if time doesn't exist while functioning in time-based world. Use clocks as tools, not masters. Make plans without attachment to timing. Show up when you show up. Trust divine timing over clock timing. Measure life in presence quality, not duration. This is the paradox. Living timelessly in time. Know you're breaking through when time anxiety decreases dramatically. Present moment feels richer and fuller. Urgency becomes rare. Age feels less relevant. Death seems less frightening. Synchronicities increase. And life flows more easily. These aren't signs you're getting it right. These are signs the prison is dissolving. We're approaching the end, but there's one final truth that changes everything. Time was never your enemy. Time is consciousness's chosen method for experiencing infinity one moment at a time. Your eternal soul chose to experience reality sequentially, to savor each moment, to feel the texture of change and growth. Time isn't a prison you need to escape. Time is an adventure you choose to experience. Hold these truths simultaneously. Time is an illusion and a useful measurement tool. Only now exists, and planning serves you. You're eternal and embodied temporarily. Time limits you, and limitation creates growth. Liberation isn't choosing one side. It's holding the paradox consciously. Even Saturn, the great limiter, offers profound gifts. Limitation creates appreciation for each moment. Boundaries help consciousness focus and create. Structure provides a framework for growth. Discipline develops mastery. Aging teaches you what truly matters. Saturn isn't your enemy. He's your teacher, using restrictions to force consciousness evolution. Understanding time transforms death. Death is just the end of this temporal experience. Consciousness continues beyond the body's timeline. You've died and been born countless times already. Fear of death is really fear of time's ultimate limitation. When you recognize consciousness as eternal, death loses its power. And when death loses its power, time loses its power. All your power exists in this moment. Can't change the past. It exists as present memory. Can't control the future. It exists as present imagination. Can only act now. This moment is your only point of power. Stop leaking energy into the past and future. Gather all consciousness here, now. True freedom isn't having more time. It's transcending time entirely. When you realize your timeless consciousness only now exists, past and future are mental constructs, and this moment is complete and whole. The desperate race against time stops. The anxiety dissolves, the pressure releases. You're home. You've always been home. Right here, right now, in the eternal present. You're not alone in this. More people are waking up to time's illusion than ever before. The collective time in prison is weakening. Each individual awakening strengthens collective awakening. You're part of species-wide consciousness evolution. Your personal liberation contributes to collective liberation. Right now, you face a choice. Continue believing in time scarcity, living in anxiety, racing against clocks, aging desperately, and fearing death. Or recognize yourself as eternal consciousness. Embrace present moment aliveness. Use time without being enslaved by it. Age without fear. Live without time anxiety. The choice is now. It's always now. It only exists now. You don't need to renounce the world. Use clocks without being enslaved. Make plans while remaining flexible and present. Work within time structures while maintaining timeless awareness. Participate fully in temporal life while knowing your eternal nature. This is practical mysticism, embodied enlightenment in everyday life. Everything I've told you about Saturn, Chronos, time prisons, and control systems, it's all been pointing to one thing. Look within. The prison isn't out there. It's in your belief that time is real and you're running out of it. Saturn isn't some external force controlling you. Saturn is the archetype of limitation that you've internalized. The only prison that exists is the one in your mind, and the key has always been in your hand. So here we are, the end that's not an end, because endings only exist in time. Look at your entire life through this new lens. Every moment spent anxious about time. That was you were empowering the illusion. Every deadline that stressed you was you believing the story. Every time I'll be happy when I think that it was you postponing the only moment that exists. Every regret about the past, which you are using now to create suffering. Every fear about the future that you use now to create anxiety. The time prison only exists because you believe in it. Stand in your power right now. I am an eternal consciousness having a temporary time-based experience. I use time as a tool. Time does not use me. My worth is not measured in productivity, achievement, or age. This moment is complete, whole, and perfect. I am not running out of time because I am time. Consciousness creating temporal experience. Look at Saturn in your mind's eye and say, "Thank you, Chronos, for the gift of sequential experience. I no longer fear you because I understand you. You are not my master. You are my teacher. I honor your lessons while recognizing my eternal nature beyond your domain. When you stop fighting and start honoring, everything transforms. They told you time was real because they needed you to be controllable. They told you time was running out because they needed you anxious. They told you to manage time because they needed you to be productive. They told you to respect time because they needed you to be obedient. But now you know. Time is a story consciousness tells itself. You are the consciousness telling the story. You can change the story anytime by shifting awareness. You are not running out of time. You are time, eternal consciousness experiencing itself sequentially. Remember, Quantum physics proves you exist in all possible timelines simultaneously. The you experiencing this moment is just one version across infinite possibilities. You're not limited to this timeline. You're constantly shifting between timelines through choices, beliefs, and consciousness focus. You're not trapped in time. You're playing in time. As you embody this understanding, others will notice something different about you. You'll naturally share this perspective. The ripple effects extend beyond what you can see. You contribute to collective consciousness evolution. Your personal awakening is never just personal. It affects the whole. Starting in the next present moment, wake without immediately checking the time. Move through your day with presence, not pressure. Let schedule serve you, not enslave you. Practice timeless awareness in ordinary moments. Remember, your eternal consciousness playing in time. This is the revolution, not changing the world's clocks, but changing your relationship to time. Time was never real in the way you thought. Time is consciousness's creative play with sequence and change. You don't need to escape time. You need to remember you're the consciousness creating the temporal experience. You're not in time. Time is in you. The clock is still ticking on your wall, but you know now it's ticking inside a dream. And you're the dreamer, not the dream. Saturn's rings are beautiful when you see them from outside. Kronos devouring his children is tragic when you identify as the children. But you are not the children. You are the eternal consciousness watching the cosmic drama unfold. Welcome to timelessness. Welcome to the eternal now. Welcome home to yourself. The prison gates were never locked. They were never even there. You've been free this entire time. You just forgot to notice. Class dismissed. Or rather, class eternal, because there's no such thing as dismissal in the infinite now. The journey continues in the eternal now. If this shifted your reality, share it. Someone you know needs to see this right now. Remember, this moment is the only moment there is, and this moment is eternal. You are not in the universe. The universe is in you. Time is not your master. You are time's creator, the clock that was controlling your life. You just realized you built it. Now live accordingly. Welcome to the hidden voyage. Welcome home. Soul Whisper and Soul Creator. The hidden voyage.